a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me.
How do you make people feel? You can speak to people over and over, but if you make them feel a particular way, they'll remember that immediately and for a long time. Let's talk about that today. Hi, my name is Nate Johnson, and I'm the CEO and founder of GLCS, and this is the Driving Forward Podcast Tuesday Trip. So this is a topic that I brought up last week on LinkedIn. It had some engagement, but it's a topic that I think I'm going to spread into the positives and negatives, and that's largely how you make people feel, how they engage with you. Once again, positives and negatives, and I'm going to talk first about the positives. So when you are an authority in a subject, when you can go in and be that hero, or when you can make the customer a hero, or your client a hero, that makes them feel good, and they're going to remember that. I had breakfast with a couple of people, dads from a Boy Scout group and I've known these gentlemen for 15 years. And 14 or 15 years. And I've spent quite a bit of time with them on camping trips and whatnot. And we got to talking about this subject and a variety of different ways. But one of them is in sales, and he mentioned spending time with customers, spending time with them and getting them to know kind of your side beyond work, getting them to see what you're like outside of work, and that you can do things differently outside of a corporate environment, which is some of it. But creating that human relationship with someone, I think, is extremely important. But making them feel something, I think, is important. So the idea here is that whatever you say creates an emotional reaction. And if that emotional reaction is positive, people are going to remember you in a positive way going forward. If it's a neutral emotional reaction, that's how you're going to be remembered, is neutrally. Over time, a communication layer between you and someone else will develop a relationship, and they may think of you positively because of that. They've just known you a long time, or whatever the case may be. You've helped them out. There's an emotional layer that will develop over time because you've helped them out, and that's there. But if you create messages and positive reinforcement to those messages, you're going to get benefit of that. How often do you go into a meeting and take your cell phone and set it on a table? How often do you have a cell phone in your hand when you're talking to an employee or a coworker? And does that take the direct conversation away from that? Is it a distraction to that conversation? Does that make that other person feel like they are the total focus of your conversation with them? One of the comments that I had with that person, one of the comments that I had on LinkedIn associated with with someone in their past being directly focused with them in every conversation, to the point that in that conversation they felt like they were the only one in the world that they were talking with, and that they were completely focused on them and them alone, and it made them feel good in speaking with them. So those are things to take away and focus on, and just to consider. There's many other tactics, and they aren't tactics, they're holistic ways of presenting yourself. I call it tactics, but it's truly a way to train yourself. I know the phone the phone is a thing that I've been focusing on, because the first thing that happens to me when I sit down with a customer is my phone goes on a table. And that's largely because I used to take notes in my phone. My phone has replaced the tablet. I used to take notes in my tablet, and I don't need to. My phone is massive, and I can now punch in notes to my phone. However, I've found over time that the digital medium, when I'm speaking with customers or employees or anyone, uh, takes away from that interaction. So I've gone back to, strangely enough, as a technology company, I've gone back to paper notes when I'm face to face with someone. I prefer to take paper notes, and I'll go back and convert those notes later to a digital medium. And I know that there's technologies out there that will do that for me, and I should probably look at this as a recent development for me. So if you've got something that you're using that works well for you as a digital medium note taker solution that does not include a tablet that I can be hit with social media and Messenger and email on, please let me know what that is. I'd be happy to research that product. Let's switch this a little bit. As we're 6 minutes in, let's switch this a little bit and talk about negatives, the negative feelings that can be portrayed. And I'm going to largely target this. Certainly, you can have scenarios where a sales engagement, a services engagement, a customer execution can go bad. And we all have had those happen. And sometimes there are things that can be avoided, and there's things that can't. And I've talked in the past about integrity and tenacity and truthfulness, and all of those apply here. But overall, I think the reality of this is that, I'm going to go beyond that a little bit and talk about just flat out what you should do from a tactics, or what you shouldn't do from a tactics standpoint. And this time I am going to use tactics, because I think there's flat out some inappropriate tactics being used, and some people are being overly aggressive. And some people may not know how to pursue marketing tactics and sales tactics. But there's other scenarios like this too. But when you look at any business owner today, I know I've spoken with hundreds of business owners about this. You have emails coming in that just make assumptions, that maybe create instant calendar invites, trying to create meetings with you, not qualifying that meeting with you. You have LinkedIn engagements happening where someone will connect with you, and if they're in industry, many of us are going to accept that invitation or that link. And then immediately following that, you're hit with a sales pitch, which immediately for me is ignored. And then every day or twice a day, I'm hit with something else. Now, with other solutions that are out there, I'm now getting hit with phone call after phone call on every phone number that I possibly have, sometimes immediately following. And these are from viable companies in some cases that really shouldn't be reaching out to us at all. We've told them not to. So I just literally start blocking them all, blocking every phone number, blocking everyone on social media platforms. You tell them to stop this tactic, but they continue to do it. And I don't understand what the play is here. So once again, going back to how do you make people feel? So if you are taking a tactic of carpet bombing your customers from a marketing and sales aspect, I do not understand where this wins. We are very gentle in our approach to all sales engagements, and we work with everyone. I don't understand where this actually can work for other organizations. I don't. And some of these organizations are large. So somebody explain that to me where it actually is working, where, the 400 emails, the massive number of LinkedIn pushes for some of these large organizations. I'm all ears there. Overall, getting back to the core message here, find a happy message, find a way to make your customers happy, find a way to shed light on their problems and resolve it for them, and keep them safe in their world, keep their solutions, their problems away from them. Do whatever you do best and do it in the best way possible, and make them happy, and you're going to be better for it. So with that being said, we'll wrap this week up. I've got a few upcoming things that I want to bring forward. So this Thursday, we have a great panel, GLCS panel this week. We're talking about selecting and implementing technology. Robert Bain, Susan Mayo, Michael Demers. It should be an excellent discussion. Selecting and implementing technology is kind of our core service here at GLCS. And we're definitely authorities on the topic, so tune in, and we should have a lot to say on that. Following that, we have several cool upcoming events. Actually, I'll be on a panel coming up with Optum, with a variety of personnel talking about blending tech, talent, and training in trucking. So that's great. It's moderated by Chris Torrance, March 13th at 10 a.m. Also, if you're in Minnesota on March 14th, Thursday, March 14th at 5:30 p.m. in Bloomington, Minnesota at the Green Mill Restaurant. We have about 50 or 40 some odd people signed up right now. Looking forward to have everybody there. Just come on in. GLCS and the Driving Forward podcast is hosting. We have a variety of people: Nate Schutz, Matt Dahl, myself, Robert Bain will be there. I know a variety of other people. Just check out the LinkedIn invite. It's on the GLCS page if you haven't seen it yet. If you would like to come and haven't seen the invite, hit myself up on LinkedIn, or Robert Bain or Matt Dahl or anybody that from GLCS. We're happy to send it. Following that, we have a variety of events coming up, including Matt's TCA Broker Carrier Summit. Will be at TIA as well. If you didn't check out the show last week with Jeff Dickinson, you should. The intro of it was excellent, in my opinion. It was something new I'm doing. Keep checking out shows going forward, but I think it was commented it was the mayoral intro, and I'm not sure, but I might have had Jeff tearing up when I did the intro of them. So I'll be happy to keep trying those going forward. I had fun with it. I look forward to doing them more often going forward, at least on the one-on-ones. It'll be hard to do them in the panels. So with that being said, we'll wrap this week up. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, drive forward with purpose and innovation. Thanks for watching.